One of the predicament of development is a dwindling population. And a victim of this has been the Parsi community. To address this, the Government of India started the Geo-Parsi project.
Thanks to the kindness of the government through the Ministry of Minority Affairs, we put up a proposal to create a Geo-Parsi program. And the whole concept of it, and this little Farohar, the happy Farohar, Geo-Parsi, is to bring back that joy in life, to bring back the positivity. And while it started off as a program of medical interventions and support for medical help, because there are a lot of Parsis who cannot afford IVF or ICSI or the treatments required, we found very quickly what the ICMR, the Indian Council of Medical Research, had told us, that your real thrust should be on advocacy. We found that to be true.
Geo-Parsi has two components. One is the medical component, where we reimburse any kind of treatment, again through any doctor anywhere in India, that leads to conception. So that is one aspect that we do. But the second aspect is advocacy, where we are encouraging people to marry early, because that is one big problem.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire,
Problem we are facing that most of them marry after 30-35, where the biological clock is already ticked away, So that is one thing we encourage. We also have workshops and a lot of other events that we do.
I sat in on a workshop at Rustam Bagh, and I realized how many issues people keep quiet about until a trained counselor, and all our counselors are trained from TISS, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, until a trained counselor draws them out.
We also have awareness campaigns in various activities. For example, if there is a community dinner, we go and speak over there, or we put up a stall so that people come to know. Then in many of our colonies, which are called bags, we have had parenting workshops, couple workshops, family life workshops.
We visited Davar, the place which was given to us. There was a coordinator by the name of Pearl Mystery. So we visited her house first, we met her, she explained us beautifully, okay, and we were, whatever doubts we had, that all got clarified, and within minutes we had decided that we were in that program.
The advocacy team of Geo-Parsi has impacted many couples successfully in conceiving. But the role of a counselor doesn't just end there. They help them take the next step by referring them to a gynecologist.
It is very important when the couple comes to a clinic to have blood investigations, a pelvic sonography, and a semen analysis. So basic medical disorders must be treated prior to conception. These investigations are done, then a basic profile and a protocol is given to the patient. More often than not, a couple only needs counseling, some advice about the menstrual cycle, the safe and the unsafe period. They are also counseled that ovulation takes place only once in a month. The egg stays alive only for 24 hours and the sperm for 48 hours once it is released. And thus, if they do not have intercourse at that particular time, they will not get pregnant. So ovulation occurs only once in a month. That means they have only 12 chances in a year to conceive.
If after trying naturally for more than a year, a couple is still unable to conceive, then Geo-Parsi counselors help the couple to undergo medical procedure called assisted reproductive technology. The various assisted reproductive technology Geo-Parsi is using are IUI, ICSI, and IVF.
Intrauterine insemination is a very, very basic form of ART. It is non-invasive, inexpensive, and the sperm is kept as close to the oocyte as possible with the form of a cannula. If after 5 to 6 cycles of intrauterine insemination, using ovulation induction drugs and injections, the patient does not conceive, she can be counseled for the next step, which is the in vitro fertilization and intracytoplasmic sperm injection.
IVF is a very special treatment in extreme conditions. Nature has planned it in such a way that there should be at least 15-20 million good sperms to help that one sperm to fertilize. And for that reason, IVF, even if the count is 500,000 or 1 million, can help that couple to achieve a pregnancy, because in IVF, even one good sperm can be utilized by what we call intracellular injection of the sperm into the egg. Then you bypass the tube by IVF, because you bring the egg out, fertilize it, you don't need the tube, you insert it back into the uterus after a few days when it's mature to get implanted. And that is the main way or reason why IVF was initially started. Then, but at the moment there are centers where and couples naturally would like to go to a fertility clinic doing IVF. They would not even ask more questions, but just straight away say, okay, you come on this month and we'll do IVF. That is not the right approach.
Having a baby is an amazing journey, but it's not all plain sailing. It affects an individual psychologically, medically, and even financially. Geoparcy aims at providing not only psychological or medical assistance, it also assists couples with financial support.
The reimbursement that we give per couple till they conceive is up to rupees 5 lakhs. Okay, that is one thing. Another thing is, it's not only IVF or IUI treatments. Any treatment or surgery that is needed that leads to conception falls under our criteria. And the reimbursement for the fertility, the treatments that lead to conception are very expensive and they are not foolproof. Most of the times they fail. Multiple attempts have been, you have to take multiple attempts to actually conceive. So the financial reimbursement does help. It at least lightens the burden of the amount of money that the couple has to spend.
There are many factors that contribute to the success of fertility treatment. The age of the patient, the maturity, and the quality of eggs play a very important role. The biggest obstacle for women aged 30 or older may be getting pregnant in the first place. Fertility rates begin to decline gradually at age 30. Even with fertility treatment or ART, women have more difficulty getting pregnant as they age.
Fertility is best between the age 20 to 35, 15 years. That is at the peak. And if one starts planning a pregnancy, and as I already stressed, the vitamins and all, very essential, I would like to really repeat that. Then in 3 months or 4 months, nature needs for a normal, healthy couple with no problems, 3 to 4 months to allow a pregnancy to start. If there were 100 normal, healthy couples planning pregnancy, there'll be about 10 or 15 lucky to fall pregnant in the first month. That too, I'm saying out a little, majority take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. And if in that time there is no conception, with a regular frequency of contact, sex, then one should immediately think of going to a doctor.
Geoparcy is trying to influence the mindset of the community, and since its inception, Geoparcy has already seen remarkable success. But still a lot more has to be done. There's a long road ahead that still needs to be traveled.
It will be the couples who have been influenced by our workshops, by our ads, and have actually gone in for a second child. We've had quite a few couples who said, no, we are going to have only one kid, then read our articles, saw some of our ads, attended some workshops, and actually went in for the second kid. So yes, there has been success.
Today, when we've got 1 year results, we find that 1/3 of our people have been treated and had babies successfully with medical intervention. 2/3 have changed their mindset and have come to have a second child, to have a first child at the right age, thanks to our advocacy team. When the family sits down together and realizes the importance of how this program is going to change the future of the Parsis in the future, I think they will all agree to become a part of GeoParsi.
The Everlasting Flame International Program was the largest ever festival of the Zoroastrians in the world. A 2-month-long program held in New Delhi from 19th March to 29th of May 2016. The program was a collaborative effort by the Ministry of Minority Affairs, Ministry of Culture and the Parzor Foundation. The program included 4 exhibitions: The Everlasting Flame, Zoroastrianism in History and Imagination, Painted Encounters, Parsi Traders and the Community, No Parsi is an Island, and Threads of Continuity.
The idea of having the largest ever festival of the Parsi Zoroastrians was a humongous task. The government was willing to pay for the exhibitions, but we needed a donor or a set of donors to look after the entire Everlasting Flame International Cultural Program. And since Dr. Cyrus Poonawalla is the largest donor to the community and has been for some time, we decided to approach him to support the cultural program. He was extremely kind, and he said that as platinum sponsor, he would take care of the entire cultural program, which was a huge relief to us.
The Everlasting Flame International Program was inaugurated on 19th of March at the Parliament House with a galaxy of stars from all over the world.
And I'm sure this tradition of the community, its history, its heritage, I think will be a great education to all of us. I can promise you that I intend visiting each one of these museums where the library exhibitions are being set up, because there's a lot which it will add to each one of our knowledge.
The exhibition Everlasting Flame, Zoroastrianism in History and Imagination was launched on the same day at the National Museum.
Dr. Sarah Stewart always had this idea, why can't we do an exhibition? Very challenging, but it was a joy working with her, because we could put into practice everything that we had put into the book, and we knew where these artifacts were. So we encouraged Dr. Stewart to consider this exhibition, which was called the Everlasting Flame.
This exhibition has 10 clear sections, which are separated in terms of geography, time and history. However, they are chronologically displayed, so that we can tell a story, we can narrate the events of history through the visuals that are being shown.
At the NGMA, new facets of a historical period leading to Parsis in modern India were shown through Painted Encounters, Parsi Traders and the Community, as well as No Parsi is an Island.
So since this was housed in the NGMA, which has contemporary art, and their mandate is to do things from 1857, I think, onwards, we said, let's take this forward and bring in the Sir J.J. School of Art. And we had 16 artists representing, including painters, sculptors, and filmmakers.
March is the day of Nowruz. It is on this day that the Zoroastrians celebrate the beginning of a new year. On this auspicious day, for the first time in Delhi, traditional Iranian and Indian Nowruz tables were set up side by side on the IGNCA lawns. 21st March was also the day that marked the launch of the book, Threads of Continuity, Zoroastrian Life and Culture by Honorable Dr. Najma Heptullah in the presence of Lord Karan Bilimoria and Dr. Cyrus Poonawalla.
Dr. Cyrus Poonawalla, entrepreneur extraordinaire. He founded the Serum Institute of India, a world-renowned biotech company. They're the biggest producers of vaccines in the world by far. His vaccines are not just the biggest in the world, they have saved millions and millions of lives.
I must take the opportunity of thanking Lord Karan Bilimoria for showering praises on me, some of which I certainly don't deserve. I want you to enjoy today's event with a scintillating dance by Astad Debu, specially created for this event, followed by Pasi Lagan Nubono. The exhibition, which is full of both life and academic excellence, and the following 2 months that will follow.
The launch was followed by an exciting program of Manipuri dances, conceived and choreographed by the world-renowned Astad Debu, chanting the Yatha Vairyo, an ancient Avastan prayer to the drums of Manipur. Thanks to Dr. Cyrus Poonawalla, guests from all over the world were treated to a traditional Parsi Lagan Nubono, or feast the first of its kind in Delhi, by caterers from Bombay. The evening ended with the opening of the exhibition Threads of Continuity at IGNCA. Threads of Continuity explored the cultural history of Zoroastrianism, taking the visitors on a journey from the earliest days of the religion till the modern diaspora.
The Threads of Continuity installation crisscrossed to bring out the crisscrossing cultures and the melding of cultures in this exhibition. We started off with the cold desert of Iran, where Zarathustra was born, and we took people through to show, through this cold desert, to show how the Gathas, the songs of Zarathustra, were created. They speak about the wonders that he saw in the world, and they also speak about the importance of nature. This is something which runs as a theme throughout Zoroastrian culture and religion, as well as philosophy.
These 7 masks represent the 7 spentas, which are like elements as angels, and they are all based on nature. One is talking about fire, one is talking about water, one is talking about good thoughts and all. So there are 7 of them, and these installations, these mass installations have been created by Dadi Padamji, who's a puppeteer himself.
We had replicated a fire temple with the entire ambience of the carpets on the floor, because you do not walk barefoot in a fire temple, you walk on carpets. So we had that. We showed from life to death the entire life cycle. and we moved into the historical regions of Achaemenian Iran, where of course we had a very interesting picture of the Tomb of Cyrus, and a young artist from Pondicherry, Adil Writer, showing what he felt was important about Cyrus. It was not the grandeur of his empire, but it was the humbleness or the humility of his thought. From that we moved on to show lifestyles in Iran which till today have not changed all that much. We showed the systems of nature, of protection of nature, ecological senses of nature in the pigeon towers near Yazd, in the water systems of the Taka and the water harvesting and the wind and water towers of Iran.
Hi Mata, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can start.
We can start? Okay, thanks. Good evening everyone, and welcome to yet another Friday Forum. My name is Pearl Tirandas and I am the Public Relations Officer for Geoparcy. Some good news, Geoparcy till date has 313 babies, and for that I would like to thank Government of India and MoMA for their continued support. I urge our viewers to spend and spread the message of Geoparcy. This is just not an infertility program, but the health of our community is our most important concern. For more details, you could visit our website. With that, help me in welcoming my dear friend Marzi Pestonji. Popularly known as Master Marzi, he donned the hat of a judge on India's biggest dance-based reality shows, Dance India Dance Doubles, Dance India Dance Little Masters, and Dance Ke Super Kids. Chief Operating Officer and Chief Master Instructor, Marzi's continuous dedication to the company for nearly 2 decades has made him one of the most respected members. Marzi has also done shows nationally and internationally, including the World Economic Forum, Shiamak's tour in China and Egypt, and many more. He has performed and assisted Shiamak at award functions, including the IFA Awards, Filmfare Awards, Zee Cine Awards, Femina Miss India, and Stardust Awards, to name a few. He was also a part of Shiamak's productions, including Yes, One, and I Believe. Marzi has danced in various Bollywood films and assisted Shiamak for the same. I welcome you, Marzi Pestonji.
Hi, Paul. Hi. Hello.
Good evening.
Thank you, Paul. Lovely introduction. You know, I must say, some people need long introductions because we're not that famous. But our guest tonight doesn't need it because he's extremely famous and extremely special. He's someone who's changed the way dance was perceived in the country. So he's been the pioneer of contemporary and modern dance in India. And yes, I know you're waiting to see him and not me. So without wasting more time, let me introduce you and get you Shiamak Davar.
Hi, can you see me?
Hi, Shiamak.
Yeah, but I can't see myself, so give me 1 second. I'm technically challenged, so wait till my friends do this for me. Yeah. There we are. Okay.
Hi, Shiamak.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi. Why is everyone's windows closed? That's really not fair. I want to see everyone. Why is everyone's windows closed? That's so sad.
We just to avoid distraction for the session right now. Maybe when we have the question and answers, we can have everyone's windows on.
Oh, that's not fun. That's not fun. Yeah. I need some windows. Okay. I need to see my people. Can't we just see them?
All right. I'll let everyone start their video.
All my friends have come. Everyone's come.
Okay. Hello everyone. I've
lovely. I can see my brother, sister-in-law. I can see my, oh, that's wonderful. That's fabulous. I can see my Jal. I can see my Rita, my Avan. God, I can see everybody. That's wonderful. Hi, Indu, my sweetheart, Indu Shani, who I drove completely mad in Sydenham College. And Aisha, my love, how are you? Oh God, all my dancers are there. Everyone is there. Oh, that's wonderful. Super, Julie and yeah. No, wait 1 second. I have to say hi to everybody. Jal Pantaki and his wife, my God, in Toronto. Fabulous. Hi, Harshid. Hi, everybody. Hi, Rajesh. God, Colleen, everyone's there. My Kruti and God, there's so many people. I'm impressed. There are nearly 400 people. I'm shocked. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, Suresh. Hi, Sheila. My God, unbelievable. This is lovely. I think, God, this is beautiful. Hi, everyone. My Alpana, my Rusi is there with Geeta. Hi. Hi, my Viraf Sar. Oh, God, this is wonderful. My Viraf Sarkari is there. My Gailu is there. Fabulous. And then they're all hidden. All of them are all hiding. Nahi Divecha, where are you? Zareen, everyone, you all have forgotten me. You're not coming on and showing me your face. God, this is not fair. This is not fair. You can't hide. Hi, Jasmine. Hi, oh God, that's lovely. Siganporia, everyone. Wonderful. Okay, I won't go ahead and irritate you. Let's go ahead.
Hi, Shiamak. Finally, you said hi to everybody.
Yeah, I said hi to people I could see because the others have closed their windows, which I don't understand. Okay. Anyway, hi, Marzi. What's up?
How are you, Shiamak?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, Shiamak, let's start with some questions.
My Zari's come. Oh, sorry. My Zari's there. Lovely. Hi, Zari. Give my love to Parveen Auntie. Okay, let's go. Sorry.
So, just to let you all know, this is going to happen in between. Shiamak is going to say 700 people in between the conversation. So, get used to
Bela,
that.
Jahan. Yes. Of course, it's going to happen.
Okay, Shiamak, let's start the first question.
So before I start the first question, I just want to tell you that I just want to say again and again and again that, you know, we are going through a really bad time. And I really, really hope and pray, you know, for these frontline workers in India and all abroad who have really worked very hard on this COVID-19 pandemic. And I really want to say, please pray for everyone and pray for them. And just really, we all need to pray. I think that's important in any way, anyhow. But I think that is very powerful for me. So I just want to start with saying, please pray for everyone who's suffering all over the world, and especially India also with COVID-19 and the frontline workers. So thank you. And okay, let's start.
Okay. So the first question, Shiamak, let's start with your family. Please tell us about your roots from the time that you know your grandfathers or the great-grandfathers. Who were the first one that you know of from there?
Okay, that's my no, where's my grandfather? He's not here. But anyway, so my roots are that I had my grandfather, who I never met, unfortunately, and his name was Sorab Davar, and he was the founders of Davar's College. And he was also the guy who founded the Freemason Lodge. And, you know, Davar's College started in 1900, and it's about now, how many? 121 years old today. And my grandfather would take, you know, all his students who he would teach to London by ship and teach them and bring them back. And then he started Davar's College. So that's my roots, actually. And mommy, daddy, of course, took over, and they were working all the time at Davar's College. So I can tell you this in the photograph. That's my, okay, go back. Haha. No, you don't know how to go back. I love that. So there's daddy, his sister, my mom, and then that is my father's brother. And then there's Justice Martin on the side, who is my father's sister's husband. So that's what we can see. Yes, how Baba can you get? How wonderful.
How Baba can you get? Okay, next question, Shiamak. Oh, wow, you have a family tree here.
Yeah, so that's all my grandfather, grandmother, Homi Wadia, Hunter Wali Mary Mai, then there's my Heidi, and there's, who is there? There's Hilda, I mean, sorry, and Jamshed, and my Unamai, and my grandmother, Mamaji, and all. Yes, it's very Parsi, and yeah, then my mother.
Okay. Okay, next slide is here. Okay, here you have some more.
That's my mummy. And the lady with her is Carmeline, who looked after me. She was like my second mother. She was Goan, and I learnt about everything about Goa. I even spoke some Goanese, or what they call Konkani. And I love the way my friend Zari must be saying, oh God, he's English. Goanese, there's nothing like Goanese, it's Konkani. And I love that. So she was like my mother to me, Carmeline. And that's my mother, who always comes and watches every show, immaculately dressed and very sweet. But she comes for every single show of mine. That's my Davar College of Commerce. As I said, it's 121 years old. It started in 1900 by Sorab Davar. And yeah, and it's one of the places I have to find a lot of relief from school, going there for lunch, because I really never liked school. And even though I was a product of cathedral school, I wasn't in love with it. I only loved my teachers in it, some of them, and some I didn't. But that's also Sweet Davar's College with my family members. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Sorab Davar also the founder of Freemason Lodge, from what I remember. You told us this.
Yeah, he founded the Freemason Lodge, and I never was a part of it. But my brother and father were very, very involved in it, and blah, 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 blah.
He was one of the founders.
No, he was the founder.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In India, I'm saying, in India.
In India, of course, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on and let's talk about your childhood.
Avan, smile.
Were you a studious child, or Shiamak, were you naughty?
Are you all nuts? Was I studious? No. I was mischievous. I was fun. I was never academically, how do I say? I never got the greatest marks in my life. I used to get an average 50%, 56 maximum. And in company law, many years later, I got 84. In 1 year, I did, that law school I went to next to Sydenham College, and I got 84. So I was quite surprised. That means I do have some kind of academic intelligence.
Okay, so as a child, did you take part in drama and dance in school? Considering you're a dancer?
I was always very interested in playing the piano. I loved sports, but my sports are very odd. They were athletics and golf, because at the Willingdon Club, I would play golf a lot, and with my father, because he was a champion, and he would play with Pitambar, who was meant to be one of the finest golfers that time. And yeah, so I used to be a very how to say, hyperactive child. I like to move and play the piano and sing and make up my own songs, and look at me looking ridiculous in the Navjot photograph. And my father's sweet feta, which is a thing you put on the head for people who are not Parsi. And it's a lovely ceremony, because I remember I just laughed my head off. I didn't know what I was saying. I was thinking, I think I must have been 5 years old. And I had to learn up the prayers. Very difficult, but it was tough. But I don't know what I was rambling. And my brother and I were laughing throughout the entire Navjot. But it was a fun time. And then we had to drink that nirang or taro, whatever you call it. And I don't know what it was at that time. And today I know it was urine of a bull, but that's fine. But it was just funny things like that which made me happy. And these are some of my photographs of my Navjot. I think my Navjot was at PVM Gymkhana or something. Mummy, was my Navjot at PVM Gymkhana? PVM Gymkhana, my Navjot? Yeah. So I had the Navjot at PVM Gymkhana. No. Okay. Sorry.
No, you and Dad.
Oh, yes, at home. But the function was at PVM.
Okay. Yeah. You also took part in drama in school?
Yes, I played a dog. In Wizard of Oz, I played Toto. And I think my sweetheart, Shiraz Jeffries, who always was very, very, how do I say, astute and very precise. And she spoke very, casually, unlike a school where you have to speak, properly. She would sit on the table and she would say things about, acting. And she was a lovely, lovely teacher. And she directed Wizard of Oz. And the sweet girl called Anita Engineer that time, was Sidwa now, and Some Way Over the Rainbow. And I was just there like a dog, and I had to just bark the whole time. And that was my first entrance into musical theater.
That's what she recognized your talent over there, that you could play a dog very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
This is not me receiving an award, okay? This is Mrs. Suri, who I remember in school. And that's definitely not an award. That must have been some certificate for some, I don't know, athletics or gymnastics, but this was definitely not for academics.
We get that.
And I used to play the piano in school. I played the piano in school, and yeah, I used to play. Frankly, I don't even remember what I played, but I played
But have you
things
learned?
on the piano.
Have you ever learned how to play piano?
No, I've never learned the piano because I think I had a very, very sweet teacher called Daulat Dhala, who lived opposite my house at Ruby Mansion. And I remember I went for 2-3 classes, and it was too difficult for me to have that routine and discipline. So I just stopped. But she was the sweetest woman in the world. Her name was Daulat Dhala, and I learned the piano for 2-3 days, maybe a week. I don't even remember, maybe a month. But it definitely wasn't more than a year because I would bunk half the time. So I didn't have much piano lessons. But I used to naturally hear things and play them on the piano. And my friend always tells me, Zareed, he says, one of your greatest gifts you have is your playing the piano and the comedy you do with it and the comic that you are more than your singing and your dancing. He always says that to me. But I loved playing the piano, and I was never taught. And it was just one of the finest things I've had in my life. And I love the piano. I love the piano. Yep.
Okay. Moving to college life, how was it?
College life. Sydenham College was lovely. And I dare not say anything because my Indu Shani is here, my love of my life. Hi, my Indu. She was my teacher. I drove her completely mad. But you know what? She was so loving to me. She never fired me. She would just tick me off once in a while. But she was, everybody in the school had a crush on her. And she was so pretty and so warm. And then she became the principal of HR. Now she's in a huge other, thing that she's doing. But she was one of my beautiful memories in Sydenham College. She gave me a lot of, how do I say, she gave me a lot of faith in myself when I would do this Ghela Gada, as they say, as a Parsi. And he said, Shiamak, you're very talented. And she would, she would talk to me for 2 minutes, even after class, before class. And, she made me feel at home. And if you're here, Indu, and I can see you, I saw you earlier, I want to say I love you and thank you so much for looking after me in Sydenham College. And even later on in HR, when I needed help, you were always there for me. So I thank you so much. But college was...
Did you attend?
It was okay. It was okay. I don't know, for some reason, I wasn't happy in school or college. For whatever reasons, I don't know. But I enjoyed certain parts of my school life, especially in the senior school. I loved my teachers there. And some, of course, I really didn't like them at all because they were very rude and very, very mean to me. But then again, you can't blame them. I was mischievous, so it was okay. But today when I see them and they come for my shows, it's lovely to see them, even the ones who screamed and shouted at me and threw books on me. I'm glad that when I meet them today, they have so much love for me, and it's really lovely.
Okay, let's talk about your connection with Vadia movie tours.
Okay, so as I said, my grandfather, my grand-uncle, but he was like my grandfather because I never had a grandfather who I saw. And Saurabh Davar had passed away. So my grandfather, homie uncle, he would be with me, and he and his wife, Mary Mai, who was called, Sharmila, you're late, you came late today. Then, so my homie uncle would be with Mary Mai, one of the nicest people in my life. Mary Mai was called Fearless Nadia. She was my grand-aunt. And she was a stunt queen, and she had done these movies. And homie uncle did a lot of mythological films. And I would go every weekend to Basant Movie Tone at Chembur. And that time it was like going to some heaven, because Willing Club and Basant Movie Tone were like heaven to me. And whenever I used to go there, I used to see my homie uncle directing and my Nadia talking to me, and on these huge sets. And he was shooting a lot of mythological films that time. And it was very strange because I grew up in this Indian film atmosphere. And eventually, full circle, I came back as a choreographer in the whole scheme of things, because I didn't really think of myself as a Bollywood guy, but then I realized later on that, yeah, I was a part of this because I was there all the time on the sets of, movie sets. And it was lovely because my sister would take me to these horrific movies called Saraswati Chandra and Teen Bhauranya. And I would go crazy. And I would say, why are we seeing these sad movies, sad movies? Do something, show me something nice. And then, of course, my father and mother would show me Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire. And, I would see those kind of movies at Regal and Metro and all these places. And I fell in love with movies at that time. But my Mary Mai was the real reason that I am today, so much in love with song and dance and acting in movies. So it was lovely that, I...
Okay. You also met Nadira when you were a young boy. Remember your incident with Nadira?
Yeah, so there was a lady called Nadira who was a very famous actress.
Nadira, Nadira, not Nadira.
Okay,
Nadira.
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 Nadira. Okay, Nadira. Okay, so she was a very sweet friend of Homie Uncle's. And one day she was highly drunk at his parties at Juhu. And I remember I was sitting somewhere and she just saw me and she said, "Oh, that's you rascal." And she came up to me drunk and just slapped me hard on the face. And I was like in shock. My cousin Roy got a shock. I think he fainted. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I went and asked Homie Uncle, why did she slap me? Telling Bichari was like, so I said, wow.
Okay, so moving on to your career now. You went to sing. You went to London to sing.
Well, actually, the thing was I loved the piano and I loved to sing. So the thing is, I went to London because of Homie Uncle and Mary Mai saying, you must do this, you must do this. And I said, but I don't have that money. So Homie Uncle gave me the money to go with Mary Mai because she pushed me to do something like this, because I used to play her piano at Monira Lodge and play and sing and, entertain the crowd. And she said, no, you have to go. So they sent me to Pineapple Dance Center to sing for voice workshops. So when I did the voice workshop, I suddenly saw dance classes happening because there were through glass, studios are glass windows and stuff like that. And they, you can see people dancing inside. And it was lovely because, I saw that and I said, oh, that's fun. I think I can do that. So I sheepishly, quietly went to the class and tried to, okay, let's try this class and whatever. And in a few classes, my teacher, he said to me that, oh, you obviously done some ballet before. And I went, no. And you've obviously danced before because you have a balletic body. And I said, no. And it was very funny because I didn't have anything like that. I was just dancing in discos and doing my own thing in college and having fun. And he said, no, but you've obviously had some, training. And I said, no, I really didn't have any training. And he couldn't believe it. And he made me do a lot of stuff in class and made me work hard. And that's when I got the confidence to even do this kind of class. I never, even thought I would be doing something like this. And it was a difficult journey because, that time also when I was in the class, I asked this gentleman who was dancing next to me that, can you explain this step to me? Because I really don't understand it. And in the break, the 5-minute break they give us for water and everything, he says, excuse me? So I said, can you help me with this this routine? I'm a little confused. So I'm so sorry, I don't help Indians. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know how to think. And I just kept quiet. I was shell-shocked, gobsmacked. I didn't expect anything like this. And then I, went out of class and I asked one of my other people there who I knew. I said, who's that guy? She said, I think he's that black belt guy. So luckily I kept my mouth shut. He was a taekwondo or a judo or a black belt or one of these. And he was like the rudest thing I've ever seen. And then that was one of the scariest things I've, encountered, especially when you're new in a place. And it was a horrible thing to hear that. And I couldn't do anything about it that time.
So dancing was not a profession one would look at in those times. So how was
No, it was not a profession. It was nothing.
So how did you manage to start dance classes?
So I came back from the Pineapple Dance Center, and I came back and landed in the hospital with a hernia. The first thing that happened is I had a hernia operation. And my Temton Udvari, another Parsi who I love tremendously. Happy man, joyful, handsome, warm, generous. He was such a sweet guy. He made me feel like, it was not a problem, my operation. And he gave me those bourbon biscuits or bourbon, as you said, what they're called. And he made me feel so relaxed. And I had the operation immediately after I came back. And then slowly, I said, I've done something there. Let me try and do it here. So I started very slowly to do my classes. And I got 7 people, out of which my Nahid Sorabji, who I hope is here today, or she's going to be killed by me. So she came to my class, and my Firoza Joshi and my Farad Wadia. And out of 7, 5 were my friends and family, and 2 were students. And then it went ahead, and then it became more and more, famous because I was doing theater at the same time. And luckily, doing theater at the same time, people started knowing who I was, and they said, "Oh, that's the guy. Yeah, we should do his classes." So it was very simultaneous. So while I was doing theater, my classes grew because people got to know who I was, and it was a difficult time, though, I must say, because I didn't think that this would really work, but I had so much passion for it. I just loved doing what I wanted to do, and I didn't hurt anyone doing it. My mother, father said, "Finish your education, then you can do what you want. Finish your BCom." I did that, started my classes, and slowly, I realized there was so much opposition and so much hatred for anything that is done by a boy who dances. And that was meant to be bad. Boys who dance are effeminate and gay. And girls, and the thing was, the girls who came to my class, I remember parents telling me that, I'm scared of sending my child to your class because she, who will marry her because they think all this is very vulgar and distasteful, and they have to wear these tight things, which was leotards, of course, and tights. And, who will marry them if they come to your class. And today, 30 years later, it's like people are so proud of my classes. They send their boys, they send their children, they send everybody to my classes. And they realize that today, the women who come to my class, I think what I've really done is I've given respectability to dance in India. And I feel that is a very important thing, especially for women, because I loved my women, my mother, my Kaushid auntie, my Nadia, my sister, all these people who influenced me when I was growing up, my Carmeline, these were people who were very strong for me, and they helped me mold me. And so I was very, very fierce in helping people who were, it was something that I really loved, and I have a strong faith in doing things for women, because I feel that they were always pushed back, especially at the time I was there. Schools used to be actually slammed in my face. Principals of school would say, "Ye kya, jazz kya hai?" I said, "I want to jazz dance." Jazz kya hai, jazz? And boys and girls together, out of the question. So that was also quite scary. And eventually I had a very sweet lady called Jalu Gazdar, who was my friend's Zari's grandmother. And I told her I really needed to have a school to train, and I train people. And she said, "Okay, Rikra, I'm a trustee of this school called Girton School, and I'll try." And we got into doing my first class. So Jalo auntie, wherever you are in heaven, thank you so much. And Silla Adishar, who was in charge of the principal of the school at that time, she said, "Of course." And she was broad-minded and she was fabulous. So my Silla and Jalo auntie, thank you so much. Because of you, I really got to teach dance in my first school called Girton High School. And that was something, that really made me feel so powerful and worthy, that it was absolutely fantastic, what happened. And it was just something that made me feel worthy, that I was doing my own thing. But people really made fun of me and embarrassed me. And it was a horrible time also at the same time.
Now we have Alec on the screen, so might as well talk about Alec. You had great experiences with Alec.
Yeah, we did. He screamed, he shouted. He was one of the rudest people I've seen, but he was the love of my life. He's the guy, I swear, if today the choreographer Carla Singh shouted at me 5 billion times, he shouted at me twice. He never shouted at me really, and he would always ask my opinion, and he would always have so much faith in me that he turned out to be someone like a mentor, a guru to me, because on one hand, he's a terrifying man, rude, they called him God. And on the other hand, he was a brilliant man who did Evita. And that was, in those days, a very, very powerful play that happened with Dalip Tile and Sharon Prabhakar and Alisha Chinna. And it was so stunning that I was so mesmerized by him. And then he made me do Cabaret, which was the Joel Grey role. And it was a very tough role to do, but Alec had faith in me. And I remember there was somebody else who was, wanting to do the role, but he said, no, I want only Shiamak. I want only Shiamak. I heard him in Greece, and I think he's a fabulous singer, actor, and this and that. And I said, really, did he really think of me like that? You don't, at that time, you don't think of yourself as like, wow. You feel always like, I'm doing something that anyway people think I'm crazy doing. So it was not, it was a frivolous activity to be in a musical or doing things like that. So Alec Padamsee really, really, how do I say, he gave me lots and lots of love, not much firing. Trust me on this. I know it's very difficult to know because Alec is a taskmaster. And I remember his rehearsals at Christmas Eve and at his house. Where was it? In Colaba, I forgot the name. Kulsum Terrace. And it was just unbelievable those days. We got 100 rupees a show. And in the weekend, we got about $200. We went to Shamiana at the Taj and ate and finished the money. And it was the best thing in my life. I had all my dearest dancers there, Avan and Shaneen and Anna, and just so many of them, and my Kushtuma and Menas and Sita Mani and my Zenobia Shroff. And it was so beautiful. And it was just some of the Laila Nazir was there, and God, I can't even see many people.
Glenn, there's Glenn also there.
My Glenn was there, who was my CEO today. And yeah, it was just outstanding. And they were the first few pillars of mine. And they stood by me. There were no contracts that time. There was Zubin Surti, I think, there, Nazim. And it was a lovely, lovely time. And I remember I was too strict. I was very, very strict. If people came late, even like probably 30 seconds to a minute, I would be freaking out. And when I speak about this, my friends today get shocked and saying, but Shiamak, you're always late. And I say, yeah, but never in my work. So my friend says, no, if you're late in your work, or you're early in your work and you're late here, doesn't mean no, you have to be on time everywhere. And I would remember those things said by Zarir Lal Kaka. And I agree with him. But when I was working, I was so professional, so tough, and so, but at the same time, I was very kind to my people. And that's why probably they've been with me for 30 years. And that's my Tushna Dallas, who is my teacher, mentor, and friend. She was the founder of the School of Classical Ballet and Western Dance, and she's been doing this for 50 years. And, like Alec, he never shouted at me and he encouraged me. My Tushna was also something else. And, that's the time it was, she had one school and she was also a very strict taskmaster, but I love her. And her daughter Kushu Dallas and Marzi, they were absolutely the sweetest people ever. And Tushna hardly taught me ballet, but I was more of a friend of hers, and I was with her for 30 years as a friend, playing Scrabble with her or talking about life. And she was such an open-minded lady, you have no idea. Because you see this very stern, strict person, and suddenly you have this person who's so broad-minded. And Kushu is now, she's left the legacy to Kushu, and now Kushu is training everybody beautifully. What a lovely teacher. So Tushna was something else for me. And while I was with Alec, I met Anush Irani, who was my dearest friend, and he made me meet his cousin called Baman, or uncle, can't remember, Baman Irani. And he had a small little studio. Uncle or cousin, I can't remember.
Uncle, Baman is his uncle. No?
Yeah. A small studio at the Russian embassy somewhere at Ben Road, and a photography studio. And he took photographs of me, and every time I did photo sessions with him, he would make fun of me and say, the way I speak and all that. And then he started making fun of people and mimicking people. And I said, oh God, this guy can act, man. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to take you to somebody. So I took him one day and I said, I'm taking you for lunch. I took him to Christmas Eve. Where? Lunch at whose house? I said, no, just come with me, man. So I took him up in the elevator. I said, listen, there's an audition for Alec Badamsi for a musical. You better do it. Are you mad? Are you mad? I've come for lunch. No. I don't know acting. I don't know how to act. Are you mad? I'm masti karut ghila gara karta hai sate tu su kare. What are you doing? I do all the masti with you. I said, just come with me. I took him in the house of Alec. Alec auditioned him. The first time he rejected him and said, who is this Engelbert Humperdinck or Tom Jones you brought to me? So I said, Alec, trust me, this guy can act. He must have been so nervous with his first audition. All right, said him again. And he would use his lovely superlative bad words. Bring him again. So I brought him again. And then he got his first musical called Roshni. And then he did many other musicals with everybody. And then he did his first movie called Let's Talk, which got him Munna Bhai. And then he became the Baman Irani. But that's what I found unbelievable about Baman, that he actually followed his passion after being pushed like I was pushed. And today he's one of the finest actors we have. And, the beautiful part about Baman till today is that every interview or everything he does, or he has these talks, he always mentions me and is very grateful. And that for me is a sign of really something that's wonderful. And that's me on the piano playing. Yes.
No, coming back to Burman's thing. Now that he's become an actor, let's talk about your journey with Bollywood. 1997, 96, 97.
Was it 96, 97? I have no idea. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically what happened is, Gauri, can you see her here next to me with Shahrukh? Not the lady in red, the other one. That's Madhuri. So Gauri was my student, and she was with me for many years. She was my lead dancer also. We traveled all over the place with Gauri, and it was one of the, how do I say? She was very talented. And this man would come outside, a husband, and I didn't know him at that time really well. And she would say, no, he's doing some television, or he's doing some new movies. And it's, oh, really, really? Oh, nice, how nice. He was outside there waiting patiently for her. Every class. And I remember when we went to Dubai for a show, he gave us some walkie-talkie to be in touch with him. And because he was, I think, doing something in Dubai, shooting. And I don't know, there was some mode of communication, which I had no idea of. And he was that crazy about her, and he was with her all the time, and Gauri. And in fact, in one of his interviews, he said that while I'm in London, she said she has to come back because his class, Shiamak's classes are starting, and I'm going to come back and I don't care. So he would complain on television about that. And then he became this huge actor, celebrity, superstar. And till today, Shahrukh has been one of the nicest, humblest people, if there's a word called humblest. But he is humblest person I've met today. He will still meet my driver and say, hi, Salim, kaise hai? And my dancers, he will be very nice to my dancers. He will still respect everybody. And, people have a very wrong impression of him being very proud because he's a superstar, but he's not. When you get to know him, he's absolutely a really nice guy. And I did this film because Shahrukh invited me to his house for dinner, and I went. And I thought, okay, it's a dinner with Gauri and her husband, nice, okay. And he just went on about Dil To Pagal Hai being a movie I'm doing. You have to do the movie. Yash Chopra phoned me earlier for this movie. I said, no. There was an earlier movie called Dilwale Dulhania. And I said, no. There's a song called Ruk Ja. I said, no, I'm not doing any song. I don't think my style will work, and I'm not doing it. So, but Shahrukh whole evening drove me crazy. please, you must do it. You have to do it. You're being silly. Only 7 people know you in South Bombay doing your theater shows, but you will be known all over. I said, no, but my style won't work. Why are you afraid of failure? And he would fire me and talk to me. And eventually I said, okay. And I did my first song called Lege Lege. And then I saw it. I said, not bad. I did Chak Dum Dum. Then I did, the Dance of Envy with Madhuri and Karishma. And eventually, so I did all the songs in the film. And that gave me a lot of happiness and a lot of, again, self-worth. Self-worth is something very important for people, especially when you're doing something that's very different and not the run-of-the-mill thing. But I'm sure you need self-worth for everything. But at the end of the day, this is really where you get a lot of confidence that, you're being appreciated for something out of the box. And I won my first national award. And Yash Uncle was one of the nicest people I met. His wife, who I'm sure is here today, she would cook the most beautiful food and bring us sandwiches and food for every shooting. And I said, Yash Uncle, I will not dance with any other dancers because I don't know the Bollywood fraternity dancers. So I said, let me use mine. So he said, okay, you can use your dancers as well. And so it happened, and Karishma was there, Madhuri. And it was one of the, probably the nicest experiences I've ever had in Bollywood, because they made me feel like family. So it was a great time to be with Yash Uncle in Bollywood.
You have choreographed a lot of shows, award shows.
Yeah.
You have worked with a lot of actors who've been your students and not your students.
Yeah.
Tell us your experience with them.
Well, I met Aishwarya when she came to me for Miss World. And I trained her for a Sufi jazz piece for the Miss World competition. And apparently that's quite an important thing. And she got a standing ovation, she told me. She became Miss World. Then we re-met on the film Tal, which was the film done by Subhash Ghai, which had my favorite music composer, A.R. Rahman. I hope he's here today, but he said he would be coming. But it was really lovely that it was a lovely experience. It was very tough because sometimes, film and theater are very different modes of communication, and theater is a very loud and extended kind of work because the last person in the audience has to hear. In film, everything's very subtle. And so my choreography was very unusual, and maybe that's why they loved my work. And my dances were very fit and beautiful. And it was a lovely time when, people told me that, God, but who are those women and who are those guys? The girls would say, and who are the women? The guys would say, no, that's my dancer, Anisha. And you know Anisha. And today, oh yeah, the girl with the short hair, she's always dancing next to you. I said, yeah, she's really my SDIPA face, my Anisha. And so I enjoyed working with Aishwarya. I worked with Priyanka Chopra when she came to me with oil in her hair, I remember, at Columbus School, and I had to train her for, again, Miss World. And she is a professional, and she is very good in her work, and she works crazy to get what she wants to get. And she has been outstanding as a professional. And today, where she is all over the world. But I did a lot of work with her in shows and choreographed her. And then there was, who else? My Shahid. Shahid came as a scrawny little guy with a big head and so much hair popping out, literally. And his mother also a fabulous Kathak dancer, Nilima, and she was such a passionate mother. Please, he needs to dance. You got to help him, blah, 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 blah. Every day she would come, pick him up. And, and Shahid was also very, 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 very talented as a dancer. And then I realized, wow, what an actor. But I always told Shahid, I said, you will do really well because you are a natural. And as a dancer, you can make out people are performers. And therefore, if you can make out a performer, you can make out an actor. Yes, I had Sushmita Sen, who had the lovely experience of pushing my friend Zarir Alkaka on the chair in IFA, because I had a scene with Sushmita. And I said, there's my friend there. His name is Zarir. He's very shy. So you have to go up to him. And there was this whole actor Mola Rouge happening. So I made her go to him. And then she had to say some line. I don't remember the line.
Are you expecting me? You've been expecting me or something?
You've been expecting me. And then he just, it was the sweetest thing. She picked up Zarir, and she said, say the line again.
Are you expecting me?
I think you've been expecting me. And then she pushes him on the chair and she goes back and dances or something. And I remember it was the sweetest scene, seeing my friend Zarila Kaka absolutely dying of embarrassment. But that was his shows because my friends were always with me and I loved it. Amir also was lovely. I did a film with him called Tare Zameen Par. And it was about, what I do with my Victory Arts Foundation. And my favorite, if you ever ask me which is the finest dancer in the industry today.
Okay, let me ask you, which is your favorite dancer in the industry? Let's ask you.
Okay, so my favorite dancer in the industry is Helen. And I'm sure Helen's here today because she is always in touch with me, but on a different spiritual level. But she's a sweetheart. I love her. She came with Vaidaji to see my show. And, I keep on saying I'm their fan. And Helen says, but I'm your fan. And, it's this mutual love that we have. And I'll tell you, in those days to do cabaret was very, very risque. And she did it, and she didn't look vulgar at all. She was outstanding. Till today, I have not seen a dancer like her. Grace, strength, power, expression, unbelievable dancer. And, she's my favorite. Of course, I love my Madhuri, and I love every one of them. I love all of them. But, Aishwarya and Priyanka and just everyone, my Deepika and my Aishwarya and all, I've had such fun with these people. So these were the dancers I thought were like, wow, like Prabhudeva, Tiger, Govinda, Varun, Ritik, Shahid. But I enjoyed working with Ranbir and Ranveer because they were completely wacko and intelligent and fun and crazy. Not that the others weren't, I'm just saying it like that. And then my Shah Rukh and my, what was his name? Salman Khan. And of course, Mr. Bachchan, which I just did something recently for the 2611 show, which I had done. And yes, Marzi Bichara has been always my right hand there behind me. You can see him in the yellow jacket, always learning from me, working with me, and now being his own, director and judge on TV. And I had a great team of people, Manisha, Marzi, Glenn, my Glenn, who's my CEO, always with me, always supporting me. And I really, really enjoyed working with these people. And I find that, when you have good people with you and great energy, you need to be surrounded by good people. That really helps you when you're especially low. And Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, another guy, another professional. I feel so embarrassed even to say this to you, but one day I said, "Sir, when can we meet for the rehearsal for what I'm choreographing for you for IFA?" He says, "Whenever you want it to me, I will change everything for you." I said, no, please. You tell me when you're ready and I can come and when you're free. No, Shiamak, I'll be there when you want me. Now, that level of legend telling me blah, blah, blah. And then, one day we were rehearsing at St. Andrew's Auditorium and I got a call saying, "Shiamak, I'll be 10 minutes late." He's never late. I said, "Sir, you can come even after 1 hour. There's no problem." No, I just need you to know. So, these are professionals and artists. They don't make them like that anymore. They don't. They really don't. They're just something else. And my Abhishek, I have a strong love for my Abhishek and Aishwarya because we go back many years. So they're probably the only friends I have in the industry. Seriously, I like real friends. And I don't know, I'm very fond of them and they've been wonderful. We did this act at the IFA where all three came on stage and we did the song that I'd choreographed in Bunty Bubbly, Nach Baliye, and then there was another song which we did. It was a really fabulous, Kajrari was there, which Vaibhavi had choreographed. So I did the whole medley at this show.
Shiamak, moving to the next question.
Yikes.
You are Dr. Shiamak Davar, technically.
Make more fun, that's fine. I look like a freak. I can't believe I look like this. Anyway.
You held your this tag over here to show?
I had no concept. Photograph, come on, take the photo. Okay, sukaru. That's what I did. So what happened was earlier, the Middlesex University people phoned up and said that we've just conferred an honorary PhD to A.R. Rahman, and we'd like this year for it to be you in 2011. I said, oh, really? And I went, okay. And I was very excited, though I didn't know what it meant actually at that time. Of course, I know it means that you're not really a PhD, but you're given it because of the kind of body of work you do and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So it was a lovely feeling. I felt very happy. My family came, my Veera Farad came, my Hormas came. And Veera Farad, if you're there, hi, Naid again, say hi to Hormas. I know he's not there, but that's fine. He's very busy. He does autocar. He's doing some super stuff there. And so I had, again, my friends around me, and it was a beautiful feeling. And my mother, as always, and my brother, sister-in-law, Zareen, all, it's lovely to have your family and close people with you. I keep on saying that to you all because you must be surrounded by goodness and by good people. That is a very powerful thing today. It is very important for your well-being. Yeah.
Sean, tell us about Commonwealth Games. You actually choreographed the Commonwealth Games. Tell us.
So we had this games, was it 2006? Okay, I don't remember dates, but yeah.
6 was Australia, 6 was Melbourne, and 2010 was India, Delhi.
2000, I need to have my soup. Cheers. Yeah, this was a fabulous show. It was, can you go back to the Australia one? So
Australia, Aishwarya, the previous one.
Yeah, go back. So this was a lovely show because this is where I took 400 dancers from Bombay, India, actually, yes. And
Viraf.
What?
Viraf. Vishwa Viraf.
Yeah, Viraf. We did this show. God, my Viraf, I love you and thank you that you gave me this opportunity. Your sweetheart, and his Wishcraft as always. And we did this huge show there. And I remember that it was a challenge because we had to use 400 dancers. We got 300 dancers from Melbourne, but 400 dancers traveling in a plane together. Can you imagine bedlam, chaos? But they were all so well behaved. It was unbelievable. Even in the plane, it was like we had a chartered flight. It was beautiful. And it was lovely because Aishwarya was there, then Saif was there, then God, everyone was there. All the
Rani
were there. My Rani was there. My Rani, who I love, Rani was there. She's also my friend. Yeah, so she was there, and we did a whole Bhangra number. Then we showed the whole of India. Then my Aishwarya came. We did something very modern with her. And I remember that the television in Australia, some program said that whatever I think India did in 7 minutes, the whole show was not that great compared to the 7 minutes that India did.
What Australia did in the 2 hours, India summed it up in 7 minutes.
That's it. And I felt really so happy about that. And this was to inaugurate the 2000, I think 10. Was it 2010? Olympic 2010 Commonwealth Games in Delhi. And yes, there was Usha Uthup, another person who I'm absolutely crazy about. What a lovely lady. She has a sari and she sings in a sari. And she sings everything. And there's my Shankar Mahadevan there. There's Shan there. There was Sonu Nigam there. There was Shan, Sonu Nigam. Everybody was there. It was Mahadevan. Sunidhi Chauhan. It was lovely. And in the games, yeah, keep this photograph on. All that yellow and orange and green are cloth being used to to make the flag. And if you can see clearly there, DELHI and 2010 were actually made of bodies. So my dancers, made that Delhi 2010 with sleeping on the floor. It was for a top camera angle. And we did a lot of that. And imagine we entered the show because we didn't have this ground for rehearsal. They had a similar kind of a ground in another place. So when we came to this ground, we thought it would be the same thing. Suddenly we realized we entered and we were in the wrong place because the audience was that way. So suddenly, we had these things. Every single dancer, the 1,000 dancers, had earphones, red earphones, I remember, to hear the music, because there's a lot of delay in the sound when you go outside. And in this thing, they were saying, turn around, it's not the right place, turn around. So we turned around, and then we found the place. And I remember that was a time I spotted my dearest friend, Naira Gazda, who was the sweetest girl, who auditioned for me, and she did the show with Nahid. And sorry, Naira didn't do the show, but Naira did. And Naira ran the opposite way, said, Naira, this way. And it was the sweetest thing. I don't even think she knew what was going on. And it was, I tell you, something like that, you can't imagine the thousands of people around you. It's a buzz, the noise. It's like high octane energy happening, and you just don't know how to feel. You're just nervous because you want to get it over with, because you want to perform and hope everything's going to be great. And it was great eventually. And then we did this song in 2010. Sorry, 2010. Yeah. Just can you go to the next slide in Delhi, the one with the singers?
This was Melbourne. This was in Melbourne, 2006.
Yeah, Melbourne. Yes, I know, but that's the rehearsal in Melbourne. But I'm talking about the earlier slide where I had to sing. And again, it was very difficult to sing because, you get a feedback. But it was absolutely outstanding to be amongst maybe 60,000 people. And it was one of the finest things that I've ever experienced. And my mother is always very proud of me when I do these things, and she's always there like a little child looking at me in awe. It was wonderful.
Shiamak, you worked with Mr. Bachchan, Hrithik, Salman, Shah Rukh, Aishwarya, Madhuri. You have also rubbed shoulders with these people and more.
Yeah.
Tell us quickly, individually. Let's go.
Yeah. Do we have time? I think we have to finish now, right?
Now we have time. Don't worry.
Okay, because I don't want people to get bored. But I can't believe we're nearly 500 people, 462. That's great. So I met Tom on the sets of Mission Impossible, and it was a shot in Dubai, and it was for Mission Impossible 4, I think. Was it?
Ghost Protocol, yes.
Yeah,
Ghost Protocol.
4, because there are many of them. And it was I was worried because I didn't know what to expect, because the first time I was working, in Hollywood. I didn't feel like that though. He was a very nice guy. He was very warm. I worked with him and another guy called Jeremy Rayner, who was there on the sets. But I worked mainly with Tom, and he's walking in and there's a dance happening. Anil Kapoor is there at the back, and this huge dance is happening. So the director was so in love with what I choreographed. The piece was meant to be for 30 seconds, but he kept on keeping it on and said, no, do more. We may use more. Eventually, it came quite a lot in the movie, the dance, and it was used. And it was a lovely feeling to see, the costumes, the Indian costumes, and the way we did the dance. And it was a great feeling to do that movie. And then I met Will Smith, and I opened for Will Smith, and I sang his songs, and I introduced him on stage. And then I met Oprah when she came to my Parmeshwar Gore's house in Mumbai, and I sang for her. And the lovely part about Oprah is she's like Bill Clinton, who I met. These people will look at you and talk to you like you're the only person in the room and nobody else exists. Oprah saw me singing that song, and she didn't even blink, and she didn't even look away. Hi, how are you? Nothing. She stood and she heard me sing a song, and she said, I felt it. And she was really, really happy with the way she said it to me, and I was happy to know that. And who else was I talking about? Oprah, and who was the other person? Yes, and Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, I did a show for him in Lucknow. Oh, you want to show Ghost Protocol? Yeah. Marzi, go. You know, that was a lot of dance for a film. They were going to make it like just a small little, you know, but they kept it for so long, which is pretty good. I mean, it felt like a minute. It must have been 15, 20 seconds, but it felt like hours for me. Yes, then I met Richard Gere. I did a benefit for HIV. And this story is really funny. So I was with him, and he was watching my show, and I started talking, and I said something on stage. And so I did my performance, gave my speech, and came out. I had just taken off my clothes, my show clothes, and was about to get dressed. And Glenn comes running inside. Don't change, don't change, don't change. I said, why? Richard. I said, who Richard? What? Oh, Richard, oh my God. And before I could try and grab anything, Richard Gere enters and says, who are you? What are you? And what is this presence? What is going on? What is this? I've never seen this before. So thank you so much. And he hugged me and he said, I'm so proud of you. And I just loved your speech. And, you know, you're so ballsy to say what you said. And I don't remember what I said. I spoke about HIV, and he was very happy. And that evening at Parmeshwar Guru's party, he stayed with me for 45 minutes. He didn't let me leave. And he made me stand right next to him when everyone was meeting him. And he just kept on talking to me, And it was a great feeling. And he said, you know, you just need to be up there, man, on television and go up on Broadway and blah, 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 blah. And I just said, So it was a great feeling. You feel great, but you don't know what to say at that time. Then John Travolta, I played him his role of Danny Zuko in Greece. And I met him there. He was more quiet and he was very, very, you know, polite. And it was a great feeling to see him and choreograph him for IFA. Again, Virab Sarkari IFA Awards. And that's in Lucknow, where I gifted President Clinton with the saxophone. And the joke of all was that we were not meant to leave the stage because the security was very strict. They told us 5,000 times, we're reminding you. You cannot come in the audience and do your thing. No, yes, we understood. So I finished my song and I left. Again, taking out my makeup and starting to, you know, do my stuff. And I heard Mr. Amar Singh shouting, Shiamak, please come back. And I said, come back, what? And suddenly I peek out of my green room, and who do I see walking up the steps? President Clinton, shoot the security man. He walked up the steps and came and stood with us for, I think it could have been 10 minutes. It could have been 4 minutes, but it definitely was more than 5 minutes. But it felt like 20. He spoke to me about everything. I spoke about his mother being close to Barbra Streisand, who's one of my idols. And I spoke to him about, he said, oh, that song, it was Ave Maria, right? It was Celine Dion's version. And it was just unbelievable how he was like, again, he made you feel you were the only person in the room. That was his quality. And it's just unbelievable. And you can see Marzi there behind me with my dancers. We had posed for a photograph. And it was a lovely feeling. And he spoke to us and he was so loving. That's Sting, yeah. So,
you sang with Sting. Let's go, Shiamak. You sang with Sting? Tell us quickly.
Okay, so Sting, we sang together and I went to meet him and backstage, Channel V Awards. And he said, come on, let's sing. He saw me in rehearsal doing my Mohabbat Kar Le. And he went mad. He said, what is this, man? He says, come on. So I said, okay, what do you want me to do? He says, you will sing. Which song do you want to sing? I said, Every Breath You Take. I was rehearsing Fields of Gold. He said, no, but I'm singing Fields of Gold, so we can do Every Breath. I said, okay, great. So he said, sing for me. And I sang. And he says, my God, you have a beautiful voice, what a lovely tone, blah, blah, blah. I was flying by that time. What a voice you have. He said, like this man telling me about my voice. That Sting's voice was something else. And this man telling me about my voice, I was literally in heaven. And eventually I sang with him and it was, Shiamak, how do I introduce you? Shiamak, how do I introduce you? I said, you can say whatever you want to say. no, but I want to talk about singing and dancing. And there. I said, okay. So he gave me a lovely introduction. And then I sang with him and it was a dream come true.
You met.
I'm going to bring a very friend of mine on stage to sing with me tonight. He's from Mumbai, very talented singer, dancer, Shiamak.
Okay, cut. That's good cut. Enough. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah. Go ahead.
You met a people, no, Shiamak? Just so that you know, you met a lot of famous people. You're famous, Shiamak.
I don't think I'm famous. I've met a lot of famous people, yes. Famous is Amitabh Bachchan. Famous is Stevie Wonder. Famous is Debbie Allen. I'm neither famous. So
you sang with Sting at Debbie's home, Shiamak. We were all there.
I sang with Sting at Debbie's home. I love that. TV. Oh, okay. So yeah. So Debbie Allen came as Culture Connect ambassador to India, and she was there, and she taught my dancer. Then she called me to her house while I was visiting America, and again with my dancers, I went and I was jet lagged. And I was staying with Debbie, and she said, "Shiamak, you can't go to sleep." I said, "I'm really out." She says, "You have to wait. I said, "Why?" She said, "Just wait now." And suddenly I'm saying, "Okay." And then I went to the piano and I was just looking around, and suddenly I turned around at the entrance of the door was Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, James Ingram. He was Quincy Jones's finest singer, who sang that song just once, and it was just something else. And I then sang with Stevie on the piano. He played the piano and I sang. It was another kind of night for me. This is with Beto Perez, again at the IFA, Viraf Sarkari, who is Kraft Tampa, 2014. He's the king of Zumba. He founded Zumba. So he came and we worked together and he did something. It was lovely. It was a great time. I'm speeding now. Shirley MacLaine. Okay, she's someone I'm crazy about. Barbra Streisand and Shirley MacLaine and Elton John. These are my gurus. Okay, these are literally my gurus. Shirley MacLaine more so because she was a musical theater and a film person, and she also was into spirituality. And she also believed in UFOs. I know people are going to say, "Oh God, Shiamak, stupid baat kare." But yes, she's seen them all her life. I always believe that, in a billion stars, which we are, like one little dot, in 1,000 billion dots, we're one dot. How can we be the only life form? And then, of course, many years later, when I was about, 17, 16, I spotted a UFO for 1 week outside in the balcony. And luckily, my Dhananti, who was Dhan Motiwala then, who was Dhan Davar, she luckily saw them with me. So it was really good that I wasn't considered stupid and mad, because people make so much fun of me. The man we went to, even my father took me to this place where they, see all this and find out if this was true. He said, "No, your son's schoolboy imagination." So I said, "Okay." So must have been schoolboy, so must have been younger. And the next day in the paper, Times of India, it's there that this person spotted a UFO, Shiamak Davar, resident of Worli, because I must have been in Worli at that time when I spoke. And he said that it was, UFOs being spotted, but the man said it was childish imagination. But yes, they were spotted all over the place. Now she believes that, I believe that. I think they're going to be soon seen, but now that's another topic, and we will not go into that now. This is when I played. Yeah, this is where my friend Ron De Silva, Nakul Kapoor, Rajesh, Arno Shirani, who is one of the most gifted writers today in Vancouver, on my left, and Kaushinati in the wheelchair, where I played Shea Guevara in Evita. So it was like a full circle. I did it with Alec, and I came back here in North America, Canada, and did it, and at the Stanley Theatre. And the same arts club which I was performing in is the same arts club Michael Bublé came from. So it was quite amazing. And this man called Bill Millard was there. Okay, so this is...
You met Justin.
I'm feeling very embarrassed now. It's too much of this
Let's scroll the picture. Let's go to the pictures quickly.
Okay, that's my Zubin. That was my Zubin Mehta, and that was Trudeau. And yes, I was called to the palace. I met the Queen, and she was wonderful. I spoke to her about how I met the Duchess and the what do you call them? Bolo? The Duchess of, I love Zari's Iskomi in his seat there. The Duke and Duchess, William and Kate. And I met them in Bombay, and we did a show for them. And William was clapping and he was doing that. So I told the Queen that, you know, that Prince William was really, really so happy seeing our show and he was clapping. So she said, oh, he probably jumped on the table. Like, he jumped on the table. And I was like, wow, she spoke, and she spoke quite a bit with me and was nice. And there were things called ladies in waiting who came and escorted us. It was just a wonderful experience.
Okay, Shama, last 3 questions, quick ones. Firstly, Puzzle at the 3000, this is the 3000th anniversary of Zoroastrian culture. You had performed for them in 2003.
Yes. And Field Marshal Sam Manek Shaw was my Honey Money's mother's brother, Sita Mani's grand uncle. And I used to have lunch with him at Queen's Court at Honey's place with Sita. And then I met him here again. And it was lovely to know that I had done something with Field Marshal. I think I gave him the shawl. I think I made him wear the shawl. And it was a lovely experience.
Yes.
What a great man.
Your relationship with Mrs. Kaushal Bhavanagri.
Yes. Was the most important and will always be the most important. It was something that I cannot explain in words. You'll have to read the Laws of the Spirit World book to know. It's in the forward and the afterward. But I'm a great believer in life after, reincarnation, karma, all that, all the energies, and the beautiful Vispiratu who communicated with her mother and she wrote a book. This for me is my Bible, and I will always go by this. And again, Zari, Parveen Auntie and Jalu Auntie, they were her friends. Kaushik Auntie's husband, Rumi uncle, was very close to Jalu Auntie's brother. And again, I just looked at this article in Savvy magazine and said, please, I really want to meet you in my head. And how can I meet your mother? How can I meet your mother? And then I forgot about it. And 4 days later, I came to Zari's house, and she was there on the table sitting with Rumi uncle, and the rest, as you say, is history. But it was just wonderful how my Jalu auntie and Parveen auntie and Silladisha and all was so important in my life. And that's my Grana Suna Maria, who now I communicate with and work with Vispi and everything. Yeah.
You met Mother Teresa.
Yes. It was a lovely, lovely time to meet. It was when I was really in the crossroads of my life. I didn't know what was happening. And Father Joe made me meet her. And I gave her a song, which was but I'd written lyrics for her. And she loved the poem. She said it was a beautiful poem. She wrote it. And she wrote a letter to say, I love you and thank you, blah, 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 blah. But then the most important thing was that when I met her with my mother, she called me out of a crowd. There was a group of people and she said, come here, come here. And this is before I met her, actually met her. She says, come here. What do you do? And I said, ma'am, I'm Joe, Father Joe, and I've come to give you my song and she said, you must come and work with me sometime. And I didn't understand what she meant at that time. I didn't understand anything. And I was just like, oh, thank you, yes, yes, yes. Today I realized what she said. Later on, I understood what she meant. And she replied to my song and letter. And I never expected this letter to come to me.
Okay. Shamak, tell us some little more about Laws of Spirit World.
Well, it's a great book on life after death. And it's all about how, if I get into it now, we have to hurry up. So it's not a good time. I think we should just talk about the fact that you should read this book, Laws of the Spirit World. It's all about how people come through a lot of problems, a lot of suffering. They come through with communication, and they come through with lots of wisdom, lots of knowledge that's come in the Laws of the Spirit World. And that book is just so beautiful. You will get all your answers in that. And that's something that you have to really, really read. It's all about life after and spirit communication and karma, reincarnation. Has said it's all about, how you should live your life on earth. And people who think that they have money and fame, that's all it is. It's not about that. It's all about how importantly kind you've been and how compassionate you've been and have you done selfless work is more important. And that's the whole, the whole essence of the book. It's a book I can't talk to fast. It will drive me crazy. So read the book. I released it in 2009, and we've done many languages: Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, Malayali, every language, and it's something absolutely unbelievable.
A lot of questions can be answered through that book, actually, from what we've read.
Yes.
Every time you find there's an answer to it in the book.
Yes. Yes.
Why is Victory Arts Foundation so important to you? Last two questions.
Yeah, Viraf entered the room right now, and I'm going to kill him. He's come too late. Victory Arts Foundation was something I did because of my CEO, Glenn. All my life, I've been having people who had these challenges, I would allow in class anyway to come and do it. Even in Girton High School, one girl with polio came, and it was a lovely experience. And then slowly I allowed everyone to come. Then Glenn said to me, Glenn DeMello, my CEO, said, look, do something, make it like a foundation, do something properly. So I said, but we should do this quietly, not let people know. Now we should do everything we do quietly, selflessly. Why talk about it? But if you don't talk about it, nobody will come. And he was right. And the minute I started talking about it, people came. And it was one of the most beautiful things that happened. And we started the Victory Arts Foundation, and it was absolutely stunning. Today we have even one, in fact, recently my Parveen, who's in charge of it, she said we've even got now our first transgender who's come in this, besides mentally, physically challenged, cerebral palsy, HIV infected or affected, or children at risk. And this was in Vancouver, where I brought them on stage to perform when I performed with Shah Rukh and everyone for the Toifa Awards. Again, Viraf. Where's my Beros? Does she come today? She better have come. Nawaz, where are they? Yes, that's my victory show, I believe, which my Nija Birla and Kumar Mangalam Birla did a show for me. Beautiful show. The earliest show I'd done was Yes with Meera Jain, Times of India. These are my shows that have made me feel really happy to give musical theatre in India.
Shiamak, tell us about the Shiamak style.
Shiamak style is the kind of choreography I do now. That is not salsa, jazz, Bollywood. It's my own kind of style, and it's something I love doing. And it's Indo-Western, it's contemporary. It's what you see in my new show I'd done recently called Selkut. And the kind of style is like a peaceful warrior. It's strong, but it's peaceful. And it talks about betrayal, about tough love. It talks about women, no regrets. It talks about so many things. If you see the dance performance, it's called Selkut, which means rare and unusual. And I'm so happy that it came, and it was packed. And we did about 26 shows. You can show a bit of it, yes.
It's amazing what I saw today.
This is stunning. This is absolutely stunning.
There's something so unusual. You can't really define it. You can't give it a name, a form. I can only say this is Shiamak style.
लोग मेरी तारीफ करते हैं, लेकिन आज ये देखने के बाद I really feel like I have so much more to do and so much more to learn. If there's anything that I would like to do, it is dancing with Shiamak, because I think he worships dance.
I think it is inappropriate of me, it is wrong of me to sit and put into words. You can't describe an experience that you feel inside your heart and your soul. You can't describe. It goes beyond creativity.
I'm actually watching this a second time. When I watched it first time, I was completely blown, and I wanted my family to watch it. So I've actually got my son, my mom, my sister, everybody's here. And all I can say for Shiamak is he's a genius.
That's very sweet.
Okay, Shiamak, someone has messaged me a question, so I want to ask you. Is it frightening to be able to cross into the spiritual world, and are you afraid of not wanting to come back?
I never think of all this. I just love what it tells me. What does the spirit world tell me? It gives me wisdom. It gives me, hi Freya, I will give my love to mommy. It tells me about basically good thoughts, good words, good deeds, literally that, which every single book like the Bible or the Gita or the Quran, everything is the same thing. The detailing here is very simple to understand and powerful. And it's just fantastic. It's something else I cannot explain. And I have no fear of this, because why would I have fear to know about something as beautiful as God? I don't understand this God fearing. It's God loving, but God fearing, not at all.
Okay. And Shiamak, last question. What would you want to be remembered as? A dancer, a person who brought jazz dance to India, the spiritual Shiamak, or the man who gave back to the society?
Oh God, no, nothing like that. I just hope and pray that people just, know me as someone who was a good guy. That's it. That's it.
That's all, Shiamak?
Yeah.
Only a good guy?
I don't have these big thoughts about all this. I really don't go into all this at all. I don't even think of these things. And if anyone says, okay, what are they with that he was a good guy, that was important. That's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Shiamak, there's some question answers that people want to ask you.
Hi, Khyati. Hi, Rashna.
That come in the chat box, which we kept off. Otherwise, you would get distracted in between.
Yeah, that's not fair. I really want to answer them. Who was the most... Okay, let's go slowly.
Okay, let me get the questions. 1 second. Pearl, give me the questions, or you can start the questions if you want.
No, come on. Tell me the questions.
Okay, so there are too many questions. 1 second.
Arey, Bichara, you should have done the questions, no. I would have spoken less about all these celebrities and all that.
Is it true that Shiamak sir used to hold Coke cans as mics backstage when he was younger?
Singing.
Okay, this is
Muhammad Israel, happy Eid. Eid Mubarak, and thank you. Yes, I don't know. I think it's just God's gift. Who is the most challenging choreographer or choreography?
Must be the choreography. Must be what was the most challenging choreography for you. Was it Doom? Was it Dance of Envy? Was it Rab Ne Bana Di?
I don't find things challenging unless, because in film, see, I'm not being proud. In a film, you prepare yourself so you can shoot it. Live is challenging because then it's in the moment. For film, I have faith in my director and I know what I want, so I can place it. The choreography, the editing, the music, the costuming, the styling. But for a show, because it's in the moment, it's scary or challenging because that's when you are alone. Here you have cuts, editing, blah, blah, blue. Challenging, I would not say. The word is, what did I really enjoy was Dil To Pagal Hai song, which is the Dance of Envy, because the stage was very small. And I had Madhuri and Karishma, two of the finest dancers in India, there to perform a competition battle. And it was a very, very challenging thing to do. But again, I love this, so I don't find this a challenge. I just enjoy doing it. You know what I'm saying? And
yes.
Because it was planned, there was no challenge because I knew what the shot was going to be. You know, unlike a show.
Yeah. Okay, any message for beginner dancers? Because now it's all about dance.
Yeah, of course you can dance. As my motto says, half people dance. Today, you just have to come to a class and just do 1, 2, 3, 4 steps together, blah, and basically come to just express yourself. You can learn. If you are interested in professional learning, then you can go to my class and do normal classes. Then, yes, I do lots of work with strays. I have many stray dogs. Oh God, I'm obsessed with stray dogs. WSD and everybody, my Nikki and my Bayros and God, everyone, WSD and Daisy and Abod and everybody. I'm crazy about stray animals. Yes. God, these questions are going too fast.
Sorry, who's your favorite Bollywood student?
I think, who? Shahid?
I think so, yeah.
The only one I really loved from the beginning.
That's the most.
Yeah. Hi, Rishi from Victory. Hi.
Remember, Firdos is saying hi to you. If you remember Firdos Irani, he's saying hi.
Hi, Gauri. Yeah, sorry, what was it?
Firdos is saying hi to you. Firdos Irani, remember the dancer? He used to dance with us in shows, and he said dancing with you in SDI was fun.
God bless. Wow, fun.
Any message for artists today to continue their journey during COVID?
Sorry, darling?
Any message for artists today to continue their journey during this COVID times?
Well, I believe in tough love. I believe in being strong and not getting faced by this pandemic, because I can tell you something. The stronger you are with love, you will face everything properly. But I believe in a lot in God and faith and the power of prayer. That's why when I started this interview, I said, you know, we must pray for people who are suffering. I'm just hearing children die, people die, and gross ways of dying. Horrible. And it's really sad that this is happening. I think the most important thing that you can do is to pray, because even if you go and get beds and oxygen and blah, 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 but if you can't do that, you can still pray. And I think the power of prayer is very important. Very, very, very important. My mother has sunk that into me. And I realize today how important it is. And as a teacher, I think that I went through a lot of pain. And I think that that's the only way you can learn. And amongst the stuff that's happening around you, try and be the lotus in the swamp, because there will be rubbish around you, but you'll have to stay aligned, illuminated. You have to stay. And that's by surrounding yourself with good people, praying, doing what you love to do, being more sympathetic to people, you know, being more, how do I say, compassionate, helping people, and not talking too much about it, doing it quietly and then shut up. That's the most important thing.
Shamak, one important question. Someone, how did you start?
Hi, Tanya from Switzerland. How are you? You came. I'm so impressed. Hi.
Shamak, someone asked me, how did you start your acting career in Bollywood?
I've never acted in Bollywood, and I'm not an actor. I did a lot of acting in theatre. Lots of acting in theatre.
A lot of people are saying thank you for the Laws of Spiritual book.
Oh, how sweet.
Thank you for the guidance.
There is somebody who's asking who is your inspiration?
My mother and my books and my spiritual guides, my Kaushidanti, my Vispi. They inspire me. They make me work really hard. My Unnamai, who I write with, Sunamai. These are people who inspire me. My mother, my sister-in-law Zareen, who makes the most beautiful Marzi cakes. My Carmeline, who was my hired help, who was like my mother. My Nadia Hunterwali. People I love. People I'm very proud of that they helped me. Jalu Gazdar, my Siladeshwar, you know, who gave me a lot of Nahid, gave me a lot of warmth when I was going through a lot of rubbish. They were there for me. And I've forgotten anyone's name. I'm really sorry, but it was, you're hurrying me up. Okay.
Age of the oldest student at your dance school. That I can also answer, Shamak. You answer.
No, you say.
No, Shamak said. What's the age that the oldest?
I want to tell you today that you have been a rock, and I'm very proud of you. I find that you're extremely funny on these shows, and you have a gift of making people happy. And I just want to tell you that you are really someone I hold very close to my heart, genuinely.
So, Shamak, what's the age of the oldest student that can be at your school?
I think 84. Was it 84?
Yeah, Prafulla was 84 when she last joined. And there's no age basically for dance school, for art school.
Pearl, you are a fabulous dancer yourself. Pearl, what a dancer. She's a dancer Farah in films. Yeah, she's an outstanding dancer. I wish she was me in my company, but she was dancing on screen.
So, 2 passes
Thank
you can have.
No, it's a truth, my Pearl. You are wonderful as a dancer. Yeah, tell me.
Any suggestion for young students who want to pursue acting?
You have to learn your craft. You can be a beautiful vegetable, but if you don't make it into a dish, it's of no use. You have to go and train. You have to go and train. Train, go, train. Go anywhere but train. My Ralpad MC is there. Look, Anna, my Badzo is there. She's my Zenobia Shroff, who's here today, is there. They're all people who are great actors and they can learn. Baman, you ask people like that to teach you, and they're good teachers also. Yep.
And last thing, Shiamak, people have said that you are such an inspiration to all of them. Because of you, they have taken dance as a career. So thank you very much. They all want to thank you. So any last words from you, Shiamak, before you go?
No, I just want to say that you have to be yourself no matter what people say. As long as you're doing something that's positive, legally, morally correct, and not hurting anyone, I think you should do what you want to do and pursue your dreams. And please trust me on the path of prayer. It is really, really something that we need today. And the more people do it, it will really help us all. What is COVID-19 has really taught us to sit still, learn who you are, take rest, be with your family. It's a leveler, it's a balancer. No rich, no poor. Everyone, it's leveled out, it's balanced everybody out. No ego. This is all important for stuff.
Yes. So Shiamak, thank you very much for coming on this show. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Gio Parsi. Thank you, Puzzle. Thank you very, very much. Anything else, Pearl?
Thank you, Marzi. No, thank you, Marzi. Thank you, Shiamak.
Did we go above time? Did we go above time?
We did, but it's fine.
Okay.
I'm
so sorry about that. You have to shut me up. That's the problem.
No, absolutely not. We
You're
are still
asking
on
about
like
my life in
300.
an hour is very difficult, you know?
I know. I agree.
Hi, Jar
Thank you
cousin.
so much.
How sweet.
Okay,
I love you all,
just like-
guys, and
yeah.
thank you. And if I've forgotten anyone's name, forgive me. I love you all. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shiamak.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Thank you.